About 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, me and my daughter were driving to Charleston, South Carolina for her Sweet 16 birthday getaway. We came up to a truck with a trailer and its flashers were on, so we slowed down some, and that's when I noticed there was an overturned vehicle in the fast lane. And it looked like it just happened. I pulled over, I put my flashers on, and I told my daughter to stay in the car, and I ran over. It was a van, and I ran over, and there were so many people in this van, and they were just trying to get out. And I asked if they'd called the cops, and they said, we're just trying to get out. And they were helping this woman out off the side of the van, and I grabbed her hand and I helped her get down, and she seemed out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around, and I said, baby, you gotta sit down. And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me, but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body. And I got up and I could hear screaming, and I just focused in on one screaming, and it was my daughter. And all I could do was run across the highway and tell her to get back in the car. She had to move the car because if somebody else hit us, it could hit her. So she moved the car farther up the interstate, and I called 911, and they said they were on their way. And then all I could think to do was get to my daughter. And that's all I could do in that time. And when I was walking to my daughter, we're really running the best that I can do. I was in so much pain. My chest felt like an elephant was sitting on it. My legs were so hurt and sore. And I looked up, and there was an 18-wheeler there to cross the median into oncoming traffic, and I knew that's what hit me and ran over and brushed over me was the 18-wheeler. And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law, and I just told her, we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm gonna post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son. I will not be posting the vehicle in the video because somebody did pass away. They did. And I won't be posting that for respect for their family. I'm sore, I'm bruised on the right side of my body. I'm very stiff everywhere. But I will keep you guys updated, and the video is gonna come at the end, okay? Hug your family tight. Hug your family tight. Bye.
The sudden passing of R&B legend Angie Stone has left fans heartbroken, but the circumstances surrounding her death are shrouded in mystery. On February 28th, a tragic accident claimed her life, but the details of what happened that day are anything but clear. Why are there conflicting reports about the accident? Why is her case now part of a criminal investigation? And what does this mean for her legacy? Today, we're diving deep into the life, career, and untimely death of Angie Stone, uncovering the truths, the rumors, and the unanswered questions that have left the world in shock. The story begins on February 28th, a day that started like any other for Angie Stone. She was reportedly traveling to Baltimore for a halftime performance at the CIAA basketball conference, a testament to her enduring influence in the music industry. But tragedy struck when the vehicle she was in was involved in a devastating accident. Initial reports were vague, with some sources claiming there were 7 passengers, others saying 9, and a few even mentioning 10. This inconsistency alone raises red flags. Why can't authorities agree on such a basic detail? What we do know is that Angie was rushed to a Montgomery hospital. But here's where things get strange. The EMTs who transported her weren't from a public service. They were part of a private company. And the hospital? They claim they had no connection to the EMTs. This odd separation has left many wondering, was this just a tragic accident, or is there more to the story? Adding to the confusion, Angie's close friend and former bandmate, Gwendolyn Blondie Chisholm of the Sequence, identified her body at the hospital. But even this detail is murky. Chisholm wasn't traveling with Angie at the time of the accident, So, how did she end up at the hospital? And why was there so much confusion about Angie's name in the hospital records? These unanswered questions have only deepened the mystery surrounding her death. As the days passed, the confusion only grew. The Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences confirmed that Angie's case is part of a criminal investigation. An autopsy has been completed, and her body has been released to a funeral home, but the reports remain sealed. Why? Because the case is still under investigation. This raises even more questions. What evidence are they looking for? And why is this being treated as a criminal matter? The lack of transparency has only fueled speculation. According to emails obtained by the press, the forensic department stated that the reports won't become public record until the investigation is complete. But here's the kicker. They didn't initially mention anything about the case being criminal. This sudden shift has left many wondering if there's more to the story than meets the eye. And then there's the timing. Angie was scheduled to perform at a high-profile event, and her death came at a pivotal moment in her career. Was this just a tragic coincidence? Or is there something more sinister at play? The truth is, we don't know. Yet. But the secrecy surrounding the case is definitely worth noting. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The private EMT service. Why weren't public EMTs involved? And why does the hospital claim they had no connection to the private company? These inconsistencies have led to whispers of a possible cover-up. Was this just an odd coincidence, or is there something more sinister at play? Some have speculated that the private EMT service was hired to avoid public scrutiny. Others believe it's part of a larger effort to keep the details of the accident under wraps. And then there's the question of the passengers. Why are their identities being kept secret? Some reports say there were 9 passengers, others claim 10, and a few even mention 7. This inconsistency has only added to the confusion. But perhaps the most troubling detail is the lack of public records. Normally, in cases like this, at least some information would be available to the public. But in Angie's case, everything is sealed. This has led many to wonder, what are they hiding? And why is this case being treated so differently from others? Amid all the questions, one thing is clear. Angie Stone's legacy is undeniable. Born Angela Laverne Brown on December 18, 1961, in Columbia, South Carolina, Angie's journey to stardom was anything but easy. She began her career as part of the female rap trio, The Sequence, a group that broke barriers in the male-dominated world of hip-hop. Their hit single, Funk You Up, became an anthem for a generation, and Angie's powerful voice and lyrical prowess quickly set her apart. But Angie wasn't content to rest on her laurels. In the 1990s, she transitioned to R&B, releasing a string of solo albums that solidified her as a powerhouse in the industry. Her debut album, Black Diamond, was a critical and commercial success, earning her comparisons to legends like Aretha Franklin and Chaka Khan. Songs like No More Rain in This Cloud and Wish I Didn't Miss You became instant classics, and Angie's soulful voice resonated with fans around the world. Beyond her music, Angie was a trailblazer for Black women in the entertainment industry. She was unapologetically herself, using her platform to advocate for social justice and equality. Her philanthropic work through the Angel Stripes Foundation touched countless lives, providing support and resources to underserved communities. Angie was more than a singer. She was a pioneer, a role model, and a beacon of strength for Black women and girls everywhere. In the wake of her passing, Angie's family released a heartfelt statement on Instagram. They thanked fans for their love and support, but asked for privacy as they grieve. It is with heavy hearts that the children of R&B singer Angie Stone, along with her extended family, want to thank you all for your love, well wishes, and condolences. The statement read, "Daughter Diamond and son Michael want to thank you all for reaching out to the family. They ask that you respect their privacy as they grieve the loss of their mother." The family also announced plans for a funeral service where fans can honor Angie's life, music, and legacy. Angie is an example for Black women and girls everywhere. The statement continued. She is a pioneer of rap music that began with the female rap trio, The Sequence. Angie Stone believed in giving back to her fans and the community with her foundation, Angel Stripes. Angie Stone was a proud honorary member of the Zeta Beta sorority. It's a reminder that behind the headlines and the speculation, there's a family mourning the loss of a loved one. Angie's children, Diamond and Michael, have been thrust into the spotlight during an unimaginably difficult time, and their request for privacy is a poignant reminder of the human cost of tragedy. As we wrap up, the biggest question remains: what really happened to Angie Stone? The criminal investigation is ongoing, and until the forensic reports are released, we may never know the full story. But one thing is certain: Angie's legacy will live on through her music, her activism, and the countless lives she touched. What do you think about the mystery surrounding her death? Do you believe there's more to the story than we've been told? Or is this just a tragic accident with no hidden truths? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Angie Stone may be gone, but her music and her message will never be forgotten. Rest in peace to a true legend.